then it will be easy for the investigation to be launched. But Mr. Heary is saying the document has been tampered with. He did not even indicate in his letter which portion of the document has been tampered with. Again, putting the CPP out there in the public for the wrong reason. Folks, can these people be trusted? Or it's just better to stay with the devil that you've not seen? Let's have a conversation. At least we got the communication before we reach to that part of this part of the interaction. Let's now have a conversation with you. Call us on the numbers 0777 107 0777 221 223 0777 107 0777 221 223 are the numbers you can call us on to participate. Like I said, at 8 o'clock, we're going to be speaking with Mr. Morris Gable. Morris Gable is the political officer in the office of Montserrat County District 14 representative. Good morning. Let's hear you.
By the great name of Mohammed Rogers.
Mohammed Rogers, go ahead.
Yeah, I will drop on one issue. The the honorable minister, to the CPP or about gossip, because you're not coming with a specific point. So it's not one of my points. So as a leader, don't live on gossip. Because we trusted you, reason why we found you. So you don't live on gossip. So I appeal to one of them to look in at when you come to this kind of thing.
Okay, thank you so much. Thanks for your contribution on the program this morning. You too can do the same. Call us on the numbers 0777 777 107 0777 221 223 are the numbers you can call us on to participate on the program this morning. You too can do the same. Call us on those numbers. Let's have a conversation. 0777 777 107 0777 221 223 are the numbers you can call us on to participate. We are now live on Facebook, on Sky Communications Liberia Facebook page, as well as on YouTube. Let's hear from this other person here. Good morning. Good morning.
Hello.
Good morning.
Good morning. Yes, I'm William calling from Carwell.
Mr. William, go ahead.
Yeah, listen to that communication.
Mm-hmm.
Actually, I don't know how very you a key lady of to investigator.
I'm telling you.
Investigator allegation.
Yeah, the more anyway, go ahead, make your point, sir.
Because there's a blanket allegation. Why is the portion of the document that you making reference to? So it's very impossible to do that kind of investigation. Let you reread that letter and point out the portions of the letter that is different.
You should I tell you, man, rewrite the letter. Yeah, but honestly speaking, well, let's hear from this other person. Good morning.
Yeah, David E. Harris, and I called from a resident this morning.
Mr. Harris, please go ahead.
Yeah, Matthias, on the issue of Mr. Heary,
Mm-hmm.
I think we will want you to be more specific.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think I will leave that there for now. On the issue of the Senator, Brian Samuka, according to the information, he was to pay 50% of the money in question. And he has completed 50%. So my question to you, what next? Will he be certificated or what?
Okay, thank you. Thank you so much, Mr. Harris. You and I know that I am not the court to determine that, but I'm very sure the court will consider, Brandon Samaga being certificated now because he's done his 50% as requested by the court. Let's hear from this person. Good morning. Good morning.
Good morning.
Yeah, good morning. Let's hear you.
Yeah, this is Arthur Jr. and I'm phone in from District 14.
Go ahead, sir.
Let me tell you say to the panel user, it's a leader issue at the one. The letter reading I read is in inflate a bit. The fact that it didn't put account or the fact that it did not mention portion of the Constitution in his letter is at that end. But I consciously believe that he wrote the letter so the chairperson of the CPP can look into the training issues so that he can elevate faster.
The man is not talking about just trending issues. The man said the document has been tampered with. He did not even help the lady to tell her which portion of the document has been tampered with. The man is not.
The man did not even mention anything. Okay, if you tell us that the document has been tampered with, you should have said from SRC article to SRC article,
it
has been tampered with.
Yeah.
But he did not say anything to that. So for me, in my view, he was just pushing the chairperson to just looking at the returning issue in the CPP.
Okay. Thank you so much. Well, there are other ways you can do that, but you can write a communication putting your whole organization, in the public for the wrong reason. Let's hear from this other person. All right. Let's hear from this one here. Good morning.
Good morning, Mr. Lamendi.
Good morning, sir. Let's hear you.
Yeah, that is Emmanuel K. Wablo, the National Chairman of Namusu.
Let's hear you, sir. Go ahead.
Thank you. Last night when I come across this document on social media, I read a lecture and a communication to the chair lady of CPP.
Yeah.
I begin to wonder what part of the document was tampered with. I begin to ask myself such a question, and then I read it over and over. I couldn't see the particular portion. So from this background, I did my own analysis last night to say this thing is a calculated plan to end up smell other character within the CPP arrangement, or maybe to validate or to create another argument again about the framework or organic document within the opposition political party arrangement that they are not trusted. That's why Mr. Heary desired to bring that up. That's my observation. That's how I feel. So
okay.
What you say in your analysis, it shows to us that we can trust them. I think it will be prudent enough for us to stay with the devil we have seen and the angel we haven't seen, because don't trust within them.
Okay.
Document they can cover now and say, well.
Thank you. Thank you. Straight from the heart on Sky 107.1. Friday 7 to 9 o'clock. Let's hear you two. Call us on the numbers. Let's hear from this other person. Good morning. Julius is conducting serious training here on the radio. Good morning. Let's hear you.
Good morning, Matthias. I'm Mr. Johnson.
Hey, Mr. Johnson. Good morning.
Yes, sir.
Go ahead.
I don't belong to any political party. I'm a civil society actor. I run the program Access to Justice and Legal Aid. But in the first place, what we do before we intervene on behalf of individual, we conduct a research first. When the research is done and the facts are identified, then we use the facts to intervene in either way. And I think I will provide my expertise to the CPP, to the office of the Senator, Young Kanga Lawrence, to do acknowledge the letter received from the Honorable Heary. And in a court, if it were in a court, the law says the court cannot do for you, so do for yourself.
Yeah.
So let all write the Honorable to withdraw the letter he sent and refile. He had the right to do that because he had not said anything in the letter you read. And so I don't feel as professional institution as there would be, especially when you are questioning for national leadership, your actions, everything should be done professionally. So speculations, no, I don't think I too have a problem with that if we wanted to intervene on behalf of the CPP in that direction. So let the Honorable withdraw and refile. So the office of the Senator should not waste time. Let them reply to the letter and acknowledge that they are in receipt.
Yeah.
Written by Mr. Heary, but he should withdraw and refile.
He should rewrite and indicate portions of the document that are tampered with. Simple. That's how it should be.
I will read from the cover page of the document, the table of content, the preamble.
Yeah.
Go to the last page, then we send it back to you. We have not identified anything. So rewrite.
All right.
That's my input this morning.
Thank you so much, and thank you so much, Mr. Johnson. And in fact, Mr. Heary is even asking that the document, without even saying that there's the portion of the document has been tampered with, he's also asking that the document should be withdrawn now from the National Elections Commission. Really? You've not given us any clue, sir. The only thing you said, oh Omao, some people put here in your super today. Oh, they took me from the. If you did that to my, when we were growing up, you did that to my grandmother, you're going to receive flocking, because you didn't tell her who took the meat. The fact that you went to a grandmom and said some people put her in your, because we used to do that a lot. Julius did that to you, so pick over food, so we used to do that. So when you go and pick over the food now and you want to lie against other people, meaning you should point at those that did it. By the time you fail to do that, grandma said, but then you may take the flocking for everyone. This is the same thing that Mr. Benana Heary is doing. Benana Heary is saying that somebody tampered with the CPP document. He took his time to write about 5 paragraphs to the political leader or the chairperson of the CPP. Really? Yombli Kanga Lawrence is going through a lot already in the Liberty Party trying to review your own constitution. Then you want to give the woman kind of sit down and read, and read the whole constitution from start to end, so she can find the whole framework document from start to end, so she can find the error in it. You identify error. Why not come up with the errors indicating in this communication that, madam, from this point to this point has been tampered with or was tampered with. From this point to this point was tampered with. In the absence of that, first of all, it put all Liberian Party in a position in the public space that this is just this particular communication from the All Liberian Party is, first of all, it will be termed by other political pundits as irresponsible, ill-fated, ill-thought. There was not proper investigation conducted. They did not read anything. They just wrote a letter. I want to read a letter before we end this segment of the program. Maybe when we go further, we can talk more about that. But our guest comes in later. I want to read it again for your understanding, if you're just joining us. Honorable Benana Heary writes, right? He says, Senator Yombli Kanga Lawrence, chairperson, collaborating political party, CPP, political leader of Liberty Party, LP, Morera, Liberia, August 18, 2021. Dear Madam Chair, with sentiments of the highest esteem, I extend greetings and best wishes and pray this letter meets you in fine health. Madam Chair, this letter essentially seeks to inform you that the All Liberian Party has reliably learned that certain portions reliably learned that in the media, when we use these things, all right, when we use this particular, I don't want to teach you, all right, has reliably learned that certain portions and clauses within the organic framework document of the collaborating political parties, CPP, have been dubiously, viciously, and purposefully altered, allegedly, by some nefarious individuals within the hierarchy of the CPP, and replaced by alien clauses to engender ulterior motives. First paragraph. While the ALP would not want to cast aspersions and make fast conclusions on now, however, the impeccable, impeccable. Julius, put this thing in your dictionary. CHABL. Unimpeachable. I'm kind of confused here, but let's look at that word. We're going to talk about it later. The unimpeachable sources from which we gathered this information, we can by no means possible doubt its validity. We are also cautioned not to take this information for granted, because if such subversive maneuvering, without even going down to end, all right, it's correct. All right, without even being able to go down further. He got information from a source. He didn't investigate, and he forwarded the information directly to the chairperson of the CPP. As a constituent member of the CPP, you should have also done justice to the CPP by taking enough time, in fact, constitute a panel in the ALP. what you do, read that particular portion, read the whole document, compare with the ones that have been changed, and then you can now write a communication indicating the portion that have been tampered with. We'll be right back after this news from the Voice of America of our second segment of the program. You're listening to Straight from the Heart and Sky 107.1.
Decision to leave the country despite the chaos that has ensued. The president stressed that the U.S. military is now in control of the airport and evacuating thousands with the goal of getting everyone who needs to be evacuated out, both Americans and Afghans, by August 31st. Pentagon officials said Thursday that to date, the U.S. military had evacuated 7,000 people in recent days, 4,000 since the end of July. Up to 15,000 Americans and tens of thousands of at-risk Afghans remain in Afghanistan after the Taliban took full control of the nation last weekend. Facebook, Twitter, LinkedIn said this week they had moved to secure the accounts of Afghan citizens to protect them against being targeted amid the Taliban's takeover of the country. Facebook has temporarily removed the ability for people to view or search the friends list of accounts in Afghanistan, according to its policy head. Human rights groups have voiced concerns that Taliban could use online platforms to track Afghans' digital histories or social connections. Amnesty International said this week that the thousands of Afghans, including academics, journalists, and human rights defenders, were at serious risk of Taliban reprisals. For more news, please join us at our website, voanews.com. By remote, this is VOA News. The U.S. military and its allies have rescued a high-profile Afghan national police officer who was being hunted by the Taliban because of years working with the American military. Mohammed Wadak and his family were airlifted Wednesday to safety at an undisclosed location. The officer had been hiding with a wife and 4 children in Kabul, moving from place to place and unable to get inside the airport where the Taliban controlled the entrances. Australia reported record high numbers of COVID-19 cases in 2 of its most heavily populated states Thursday, prompting new lockdowns. New South Wales, the most populous state, reported 681 cases in a 24-hour span. Victoria reported 57 new cases, and Melbourne, its capital, the city has entered its 6th lockdown of the pandemic as Australia battles new surges of the Delta variant. On Wednesday, 747 new cases were confirmed, a record high for the country. Roughly 22% of Australians are fully vaccinated against the virus, according to Johns Hopkins Coronavirus Resource Center. While many countries struggle to get one shot in the arms of their citizens, others have announced programs to provide booster shots to their most vulnerable populations. Israel, which began administering booster shots to those over 60 in July, announced Thursday that all teachers and anyone over 40 would be eligible for booster shots. The announcement comes a day after the United States said it would be booster shots for vulnerable populations next month. The announcements defied the World Health Organization's call for a moratorium on booster shots discussions until more of the global population is vaccinated. 3 United States senators say they have tested positive for COVID-19 despite being vaccinated. The lawmakers announced their breakthrough cases Thursday as the Delta variant spreads rapidly across the United States. The Senate is away from Washington this week, but lawmakers were on the Senate floor together on August 11th during a marathon voting session. The new cases came the day after U.S. health officials announced plans to dispense COVID-19 booster shots to all Americans. And U.S. Capitol Police arrested a North Carolina man after he had claimed he had explosives in his parked truck Thursday. The 49-year-old was taken into custody safely after negotiations and the evacuation of the Capitol and the surrounding area. Authorities are still investigating the circumstances of the incident. By remote, I'm Michael Brown, VOA News.
Coming to you loud and...
Are you ready? Are you ready?
We want peace in Liberia, peace in Moravia. We want peace in Liberia, peace in Moravia. Say Babylon shall not rise again. Say Babylon shall not rise again. And Babylon shall not stand again. Say Babylon shall not stand again. Cause every day they're talking about the Liberian civil war. And everywhere over Jalen, all the rivers of blood, oh Lord, no matter who wins, Liberia is crying. No matter who lose, Liberia still crying. No matter who's right, they got to stop the fight. No matter who's wrong, the devil's still strong. We want peace in Cote d'Ivoire, peace in Congo. We want peace in Boaké, peace in Dogwe. I said Babylon shall not rise again. I said Babylon shall not rise again. And Babylon shall not stand again. Say Babylon shall not stand again.
And that's right. That's exactly what we need in Liberia. We need peace in Liberia. We need peace in Ivory Coast. We need peace in Sierra Leone. Babylon shall not rise again. Corrupt politicians, God, please do not give them the chance to win election in this country. All those who have evil intention against this country, do not give them that power to lead us, God. All those who have their evil plans, their evil geniuses, they're planning their evil things against us, God, do not give them the chance to lead this country. We want peace in this country. We want good leaders. We want leaders that are responsible. We want leaders. Leaders that are honest. We want leaders that love us. We want leaders that are going to lead without their personal interest superseding the interest of the whole. We want leaders that will stand by us. We want peace of mind. We want to go to bed in the morning. Whether you have your $1 million in your account, I have my $50. Let me wake up seeing my kids going to the government schools, but at least with a peace of mind. God, please help us. We want peace in Liberia. We are not shooting guns, but we are stay at war out of war of corruption, war of dishonesty from politicians. Good morning and welcome. But right now, we're going to deviate a bit from Mr. Benana Ure's authentic, communication that he sent to the chairperson of the oh my God, this country fun never dies. To the CPP, Madam Nyomble Kanga Lawrence, complaining that their document has been tampered with. The Constitution has been tampered with. When we're going for referendum, people, let me just say this quickly before I join my guest. When we are going for referendum, do we just say, let's go for referendum? What do? We take portion of the Constitution that we seek to change, right? But Benona, you have been in this country for some time now. You've been a politician for long. I don't know how you would write a letter like this in Senate. And in fact, the letter was not even written by the Secretary General. It was signed by him, the political leader of the All Liberian Party. Oh my God. Anyway, welcome back. You're listening to Straight from the Heart. It's interesting. We have some guest doctors from overseas this afternoon, but we'd love to deal with that particular issue anyway. We'll deal with that letter some other time. The office of Montserrat County District 14 Representative Abraham Vamuya Kone is represented now, at least in our studio. We are very grateful that finally, at long last, we have Mr. Maurice Gable. Maurice Gable is in the studio with us. He himself has some responses to give, his own, has to defend his own name because young people have made some allegations against him as well, and the lawmaker. So Mr. Morris Gable is the political officer in the district for Honorable Abraham Vamuye Kone. My name is Matthias, and today is the 20th of August. It's a pleasure joining us this morning, Mr. Gable. Welcome to Straight from the Heart. Here we speak directly from our hearts.
Thank you, Matthias, and thank you to your co-host there. I think Julius.
Yeah, Julius is the producer. He's the engineer, the technician behind the whole thing. Yeah. All right. Yeah, go ahead.
So let me say, good morning to the Sky FM family, and Mr. T. Max, who is the managing director of this institution. This is my first time to admit and being in your studio, and I'm happy. And I think you are doing so pretty well, disseminating the best of informations for the betterment of our country. Yeah. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Mr. Gable. So firstly, let's begin by knowing your term of reference. As political officer to Honorable Abraham Vamuye Kone, what is your role? Let's know that first so we can know which question to ask,
basically,
which one you can answer to.
As a political officer, my duty is to provide basic information and to counteract some misinformation surrounding our district office. You know, our district is so charged with
let's deal with all your duties. Your duty is to provide information to the office of the lawmaker.
Information to the office of the lawmaker, meaning the public as well.
Okay, about the district.
About the district and happenings within the district.
To counter people who come up with allegations against.
Very well.
It seems your office is not effective because you've been receiving too many latches lately, but I don't know why you're coming now. It's been long. Why don't you respond to people all the time?
Really, my person here is to demystify some of the misinformation provided, my character, my person.
So you came to defend yourself, not the lawmaker's office.
Actually, we've been receiving information on the public, and we'll also clarify on behalf of the office.
Mr. Gable, can we establish something? Are you clear with the responsibility to officially respond, to allegations leveled against the representative on behalf of the lawmaker? Can you admit that, or you have your scope of operation is limited? You cannot cross certain bound.
There's no way that you can distance this political officer from the lawmaker.
Okay.
All
right.
I cannot serve in the office as political officer and then I distance myself from my lawmaker.
Okay.
And then misinformation that is provided, I'm going to clarify it today so that our district can have a clear understanding as to how the office have been operating as we guide the misinformation, disinformation that have been provided by the so-called intellectual group under the banner movement against the re-elections of Honorable Kone.
Okay, so before the coming, let's hit it running. Before the coming of this group, there's been series of concerns raised by a number of people. Let me ask you, when was the last time the lawmaker did called a district sitting, that was unanimously attended by the people, and people were given the chance to speak their minds on the challenges confronting them in the district? Let's begin with
before that. I go to that, let me make you to understand that our district is mourning.
It's mourning.
Our district was met with two untimely deaths of two of our youth at the Cloud Town football pitch most recently. I flagged that on the social media. There were a lot of people who were concerned, district residents who are left the district, residing elsewhere. They were concerned. Let me say this: it's too disheartening that you see young people involving in a kind of a habit. And I want to call on our religious leaders within our district, church and mosques, to begin praying for our district. Few weeks back, our district youth went on to kill one boy on this guy that he was a vigilante. This boy traveled from Maryland to visit his mother in Joe community. Apparently, he brought some mineral to sell them. While trying to get back, some group of guys from the community brutalized him and killed him and took away his money. That incident, when it happened, vigilante within our community, which allegation was made against them, they too came out. They said, "Oh, so the ghetto guys want to get rid of us." It was not an easy situation that day. We called on the police. They came and calmed down the situation. Some of them are being arrested.
Some of the young people
who are involved.
Perpetrated the act.
Some of them stay alive. They are on the run, and we ask the police to be on the alert. Enough time, they can have the people arrested so that we can have a speedy investigations and conducted on those guys. And secondly, in the most recent time, Matthias, on the football field, a young boy, but I think the name is Spinning. He played number 10 for a local club in District 14. He was stabbed by one of his colleagues right in his chest. And died instantly right on the football field.
But there's a police station right there. And the Cleveland football field is not far from the Zone 10 police depot.
I think...
what's the need of having a police station when it's not providing protection for people?
Like I'm sitting here, police will not come with me if anything happen.
Right.
Something will happen before police come in.
Right.
That's how the situation look like. But our society is being induced with drugs. The drugs is misleading. I mean, it making our youth, to do things that it's surprising to any good society. Why would a young man take a scissor and stab his friend? And guess what happened?
Right.
When the fellow was killed by that brother, on the run, the next morning, the guy who gave the scissor to a colleague, he was killed by the lover or the other friends who empathize with the other guy. And then they left from there. The other group went and burned the mother of that fellow house down.
Oh my
right
God.
In the district. So our district is kind of like turning into a chaotic zone. And we want to call on the government of Liberia to deploy more security. In fact, carry on more patrol. In most of the area. And we have two depots. We have the DA, the LDA depot within the community.
Yeah.
And then we have Zone 10 within the community. Okay? And one thing I see as an impediment to our security is that there is no normal routine of our security. You can't keep
patrol around, in the community. Or what?
Yeah, patrolling and then
or changing people, right? Okay.
To rotate the police. You cannot bring one policeman that makes 6 months or maybe 2 years, 3 years in a particular location. He get used to the community. He get friends. He get affiliated with a lot of people, and then he compromise a profession. So I want to call on the government of Liberia to be vigorous, to be proactive in rotating those security. If a security man went to Nima, let him spend some time in Maserado. Those who are in Maserado, spend some time in Nima. Okay, rotate the people, and then you will see the kind of changes that will come into our security system. Then the community will get fear. But if I know a policeman, Johnson, he always come to the football field and play football with me. He and myself, we play football together.
Buddies already.
He's my bully already. So when I'm doing something, he feels, I feel secure around him. When I do something, he will protect me. Okay, so it is harming our society. Okay, so the situation was ongoing. And then, was it on Sunday? Onokonen instructor.
Onokonen is in the country?
He's not in the country. He left the country.
When?
Monday. I think on the 15th or on the 16th. Okay.
He left the country on Monday.
Monday.
After he settled the dispute between a family and his office that accused him of instructing his men to kidnap a young man from his home and took him to Vamoko Market, brutalized him. After he settled that dispute, he traveled right away.
If you say he instructed people to brutalize, I think, like you say, it's allegation. That was misidentity.
Misidentity, but he actually meant to catch another young man. It was meant for another person.
Those guys, in Clarendon, who believe in Onokonen Development Initiative, when Onokonen went to the Clarendon clinic, he informed the calibrator man and the trucks. He hired a company to carry some diet in because before the LFA of the clinic was bad, or the road condition there is bad. So what he did, he instructed people to carry it on. Then he went to do inspection. When he went to do the inspection, those within the community keep and started insulting him right in his face. Okay? He used all kind of invective on him. Brother, even you are a father, if you sit there alone with your children, and then group of people come and insult you in your face, it gets you irritated. So those who were in the surrounding said, why are you insulting the old man? They ran behind and they left. So in the evening, a boy who believed in also his uncle, like AVC, said, oh, I know from the beginning. Now how they went to the brother house, mistakenly, he was not the one that was involved with the insult. So he got attacked by those guys, and then later on the family said, oh, but this man is AVC's nephew. How can you say he insult AVC? So that was mistaken identity. And then on O'Connor went into...
Mr. Gable, we are dealing with human being. Yeah, we're dealing with the human rights situation. This situation, this information you're playing with right now, you're talking about now, sir, is reported that a vehicle that is said to belong to be for Honorable Kone was used to take this young man from his home in Doe community, sir, in Doe community, and took him to Vamuko market. If for any reason these people are just mere supporters of Honorable Kone, how would they get such support to get car and thing at the same time, kidnap somebody from their home, carry the person to... I spoke with a young man on the phone, and he told me he was placed behind the boot, in the boot of the vehicle, and taken to Vamuko market. So what amazing identity? So meaning the particular person that this group of people were going for, it was intended to just kill that person.
This is what happened. When the guys went there with the allegation that, that you guys are causing AVC, one of the
and AVC give them his car.
AVC said, no, you shouldn't beat the man. And my nephew there, one of the uncle were there and said, oh no,
Mr.
I'll
Gable,
call the old man and inform them that your car had to go be somebody for him. So that when the owner got to know, he said, no, why am I go beat my nephew? I didn't say you want to go beat my nephew, so you go for the man and bring him so he can have treatment. They went for him to seek treatment.
When I directly disagree with my guest on show, it means I have the information. I am sitting on top of the information, Mr. Gable. I had a conversation with this young man in question to say, don't beat my nephew. That one maybe it came after he was already beaten. The young man told me on the phone, the very day the COP youth wing Council of Patriot District,
he has every right to conclude that those guys who they were sent by Onokone. But in the mind of Onokone,
that way put
because
the
guys went there with Onokone. Why you want to insult the old man? Why you want to beat insult the old man? So he insinuated that these people were sent by Onokone. So Onokone said, no, I did not say you to go beat somebody.
I'm not saying the lawmaker sent
go and bring the man so that I can take treatment. That's what happened in my time.
I'm not saying the lawmaker sent the people. What I'm saying here is that the young man was brutalized. Why did they choose even Vamuko market to take the young man there to brutalize him? Do you have an idea? Have you guys, as a political officer,
what happened? The family came in the morning and they all converged in Vamuko market and engaged their older father. Okay, on O'Connor. The entire family went there. And then he made them understand I did not say anybody. But this my nephew, even if these people who went there with a passion that they didn't expect anybody to insult me, if this man is noted to be my nephew, bring the man to me. I will lay him down again 25 lecture on about. In fact, the entire family were pissed off with him. So they managed to reconcile. That was a family matter. And I maintain that it was a misidentity. He was never involved with the insult, but people perceived that he was involved. And then when they realized that it was the guy was connected to Onokone, and then when Onokone received the information to know, I did not say people, if you be the man, I beg you, you go for the man, let you take treatment.
So, Mr. Gable, no problem. Let's move on. The public will welcome. But let's go to Capitol Hill. Yeah. Who gathered the young people there to disrupt a gathering of other youth from the district who had gone to the Capitol building to petition the Speaker of the House of Representatives about the misrepresentation of their district by Honorable Kone. I'm told that you were there. I didn't see you in the video, I have to say. But I saw a number of young people that I know from Doe community who had gone there to disrupt the gathering of the other people. As a political officer, do you think it was a right decision? Where were you at the time of the incident?
Matayo?
Yes, sir.
I have built my character over the years. That is why Onokone entrusted me to serve him as a political officer. I served in many potential institutions in Liberia. I work at the Liberia Media Center. I work under the Julie Bryan government as a project manager. I distributed the books that were donated to Liberia by I think Prince Awali from I think Egypt. When we received the books, the 1 million books, I distributed in the 15th political subdivision of Liberia. I work in many institutions. I work with the informal newspaper. I'm a man with impeccable character.
Can we let's go to the
so point. Let me make you to understand. For somebody to lie on my character or such that I was involved in hooliganism. In fact, as a staffer, I don't think I should disobey the rules and guidelines of that honorary house. Nobody is allowed to fight on that ground. If you do that, you will be penalized. Now, I was on the ground.
You were at the Capitol.
I was standing right side Buffer Chamber. Speaker Chamber, Moses Akara Gray, representing Moses Akara Gray. They were right there, and I was standing right side then when the group came in with the placards.
The first group.
The David Gala and Sako group. They came in with a placard. They came from the U.S. entrance way. They entered the place from the U.S. entrance way. They entered the
UL, you mean?
For UL. The governor themselves from the UL entered the Capitol building grounds. We had two groups on the ground. We had the Grand Cape County Senator I think Taylor.
Taylor
group, industrial going on the other side. We were observing the two groups. They were kind. And all of a sudden we saw a group of guys entering, and then they came. They were pro on Okone, okay, on our Tuesday. And Onokone left this country Monday. Tuesday he was not even in the building. If you check his letter of excuse to travel at the Capitol building,
can you please remove your cap? Some of my viewers can, Sorry, yeah, thank you, please.
If you check his letter that he wrote plenary to allow him go for medical treatment, if you check his letter, you will observe that he said in a letter on the very Monday that he left. The letter was delivered and he left the very night. Tuesday, the guys went to the building, and I was standing right side.
You mentioned the two individuals. Yeah.
Now, the two sides was jubilating. The guy was singing, "AVC is our hero. AVC is our development. Lawmaker." And the guys say, they were using all kind of invective. The other guys. So on Grace said, "You say we were lecturing him." I said, "You see the guy? They say they present that picture, but insulting. They use all kind of insulting word on the old man." He was saying that. I said, "Oh, on Grace, I think you can see this." But I sent it for the police. I think the police can come and remove them.
Who said they were sending for the police? You? Honorable Gray?
Yeah.
Mr. Gable, I would like to, encourage you, sir. I want to say something, sir. I want to encourage you to, I'm not saying what you're saying is not true. Because if you mention names of people here, I'm going to go for them. Now, for them, I'm going to go there to ensure that I verify this information.
On the scene, you are standing right side a vehicle.
Is it? So you say Representative Akara's Grace is the one that requested for police
to come and remove the guy from the ground because
the first group before the second group came. At that time, Representative Gray already decided to bring police to remove them.
When the two groups were on the ground.
No,
and the other guy was insulting.
How did the second group first enter? The second group
we do not know how they enter. That bring in the function of the security on the ground. How did the people enter the ground?
So the first group, they entered to read a statement. They were already disturbing before they started reading their statement. According to what you just said, they were already insulting.
When the other group were at the opposite, that's how they started to use invective. All of them were in the initial. The other guy was singing a pro AVC, other one anti AVC. But when they begin invective, how on a Grace said, but you got to send for the police, we get come to do petition, and then you use invective.
I
when the police
Julius, is it possible for you to show us that video again? Good.
When the police vehicle was coming,
Mr. Gable, pause a little bit, yeah, please. Let's watch this video a little bit. Now, for you in listening to the radio, you cannot see it, but we can see it. Can you just zoom it out a little bit? Let Mr. Gable see, because I don't see the presence of police there at this time here. The video you're watching now, at this time, the two groups were already met. They were already escorted.
The police were en route coming. Police is not on it. The police were at the gates coming when the siren was alarming. That's how the group went to.
And these two people, Morris, Mr. Gable, sir. Yeah. Let's look at this video. The police. Are you saying the police were at the gate? These two young people were manhandled like that at the grounds of the Capitol building. I'm seeing Musa, in fact, was slapped of his fellow young man, and the guy ran away. Look, that is. You see the young guy you see there? That's been.
You can see the speaker vehicle leaving,
sir. Now you see that's Musa been slapped by another young man, and that other guy you see that is okay. This is Mervyn Sacco. That's Mervyn. Mervyn nearly died in the process. Now all these things happen right there in the presence. I'm not blaming you for anything. I don't blame people. That's not my duty. But sir, as a political officer, can you say in your mind that you did the right thing for Honorable Corner by not helping to calm down the situation over there? You think you did the right thing?
Well, we condemn the situations.
When did you
condemn the situation? Look, Matthias.
Yeah.
Matthias.
Yeah.
You can born a child, you don't control the child mind.
Right.
There are supporters of Onokone that he may not know some of them. Okay?
Mm-hmm.
So, in fact, our district is so charged to the extent that people believe in this Ome development agenda. If you went to our district, this video, if any of them come here, if the police launch investigation and say, Onokone send me and prove it,
you
resign. Apologize.
No, we don't want to hear apology again. You resign.
If you want me to resign, I can resign.
No, I don't want you to resign. You say something more tangible than you just saying you apologize. Right now, the district needs apology from the lawmaker's office.
The fact is that this issue, we will officially communicate to our district because things are going off hand, right? Look,
but who's lawmaker? Few things we've heard. For example, Mr. Gable, that you personally you've issued threats against some young people in the district, sir. You have your time to speak. And secondly, the lawmaker does not take criticism kindly. It happens in the days of Markia Tippesing, Stephen Moore, all these guys have also recorded things about Honorable Corner about the way that he doesn't take criticism lightly. Few things maybe his office does not have communicators, does not have people who can brand him. So for that reason, he resort in just engaging people and attacking them and dealing with them the way he thinks is best. Most of the time, people raise issues in the district and you see other people going after them. There are other districts this thing happen. You don't see young people viciously going after their fellow youth because of issues they raise. Why do you think people wouldn't think that it is the lawmaker and he doesn't come back to speak to the people? He doesn't come out to... But we're still going to get back there. I asked you earlier, how many times has the lawmaker called district meeting, where people spoke freely from their... All these things spoke together, sir.
President Matthias, that's misrepresentation of Honorable Corner. By you saying that, he's always, not allowing himself to be, criticized, not allowing people to speak freely. Look, we have a group called Veteran Bureau. When last is ever hear say Honorable Corner attack the groups? So, when last you ever heard or just Honorable Corner just walk into a community and grab somebody and beat them? These are all allegations. Look, when you got a group of young people that do not have a direct focus, they just create, story about people. Honorable Corner is the most moderate and kind and humble father. I'm telling you this.
Moderate, calm, and humble?
Yes.
You describe him?
Yes. Matthias, unless you have evidence against a person to prove that Honorable Corner have done this to you.
No, I don't have any issue against Honorable Corner as a person.
Unless you have any evidence that he had done this against one of your family members. He's the most reachable lawmaker. He's a quiet old man. He do his things quietly. He don't want people to be, distracted. You always told us, be focused. As staffers, right now, his development agenda that he's focusing on is what we're going about. We are connected currently, we are connected bridge to community. We are connected roads to community. One more we have to focus on these small petty boys who saying that they want to intellectualize the district and they want intellectual to be their lawmaker. Is that what we want? Our district is interested challenge with development initiative. Okay, when you ever heard of God advocating that we should have a modern drainage connecting the river? They said they are the only advocate for what they will earn in installment.
How is okay now? Let me put this one in context now. Now they're advocating, they're asking the lawmaker to explain to them about the Channel Union Fund, 20,000 something thereabout. They're asking the lawmaker to explain to them what he's done with his $30,000 that other lawmakers have received. They're asking the lawmaker to give them district report for the past 6 years. His first term, according to the information, this lawmaker has not come up with a comprehensive report, annual report, as far as his operation is concerned. All these advocacies, sir, all these advocacies, are they intended for these young people to benefit directly or to benefit the
Matthias, 2019,
yeah,
legislative or break,
yeah,
we made a comprehensive report at the Cloudtown Town Hall. Guess what happened that day?
What happened?
One of your guests were in the studio yesterday.
Mr. Nangbe?
David Quinn Nangbe,
yeah,
Melvin Brown, and other guys went in to disrupt that meeting. That meeting.
You mentioned 2 persons in a disrupt a district meeting that was intended to report.
We are Emmanuel Gonoti. I can just name them.
And the lawmaker is that powerful, and you think few handful of young people can just disrupt a meeting intended to report to the people in the district?
At that district report meeting, those guys were apprehended by security, and we had a district report presented to our people. Copy was distributed to every community leaders, including the youth leaders.
So for 2 terms, that's the only comprehensive district report.
We're speaking in the current term. On President George.
But let's step back a little bit.
We get series of reports. We get series of community management.
No, I'm talking about district reports.
Yes, we did.
Accused of trucking people. He has a place. He
expect me to address allegation.
But aren't you here to respond to allegations leveled against the lawmaker? Is that not what he here? The lawmaker has a precinct, has a polling center in his compound. The lawmaker has a prison center in Vamoko Market. So people see strangers coming, and few things that we've gathered that next election, these things are not going to happen, according to some of the things that young people have said, that they're going to watch strangers entering their district and going to deal with them. Now, on the issue of election, because he's been re-elected, does not in any way suggest that he's been one of the best lawmakers in the district. Is that the point you're making?
Yeah. Matthias,
yes, sir.
There's no doubt in our district mind that will say Onokone hair mark is not in our district for him to be re-elected. Onokone is the most developmental oriented lawmaker ever in the history of District 14. If I can name few of the development that he has initiated in
before you do that, sir.
No lawmaker.
Before you do that, sir. Representation wise, the people of District 14, according to many of the political pundits and analysts in that area, they've said that their district is poorly represented. For example, they don't feel their presence in the legislature. Their lawmaker has not raised his hand, at least for once, to raise issue about the district, about the country Liberia. He has not submitted any single communication or even filed a motion regarding the legislative discussions. This lawmaker, his oversight responsibility, according to some of the young people in that district, is poor. As well, all these things you put together, you consider him still as the most developmental oriented lawmaker in the district.
I'll provide you a document in 2012 that speaks that Onokone was the first person to have submitted a bill declaring District 14 area as a ministerial area. He submitted that bill. It was speedily passed and signed into law under Mananseli administration. Okay? Onokone has worked in the parliament as one of the most influential lawmakers in the history of that building.
By influential, what do you mean?
Now, most of the bills that have been passed, Onokone lobby within the ring and circle to have the bills passed.
Which bills particularly can you reference, Mr.
Now,
Gable?
If you follow the APM terminal bills. He's a man who have a business background. He works in the customs department. How revenue are generated. He was one of those who were beyond that to ensure that
the APM terminal
passing of the revisitation of that act. That established the APM terminal, and today the Liberian government is boasting of revenue generation from the APM terminal. Okay, the current negotiation between Metal Steel and some group of companies are coming to create additional jobs. He's one of those that behind it. He's not. You will say, oh, Onokone is not vocal to be making noise. The other guys are doing in the building, but when it comes to committee workings. Where to capture revenue, Onokone is very good at that.
Okay, let me.
If those guys are looking for someone who will just be intellectual in the district, all of them be grouping, passing around, using political jargons to persuade the people. We are not looking for that lawmaker. We are looking for a lawmaker who will touch the lives of the people.
And that's what Honorable Connor is committed to.
That's why he's committed to.
Okay.
That is why you see he's connecting road from the Bababa Street towards a battery factory, single-handedly. Okay, you ask for the channel euro and the 30K. Onokone is spending more than 50,000 because the channel euro money and the 30 is 50. Onokone, the Mananseli administration will receive $68,000 as legislative support project through LACE, and he added 16,000 on that money to build up that clinic, the current clinic that is within that district.
At the moment, it's still a building. It's not a clinic yet.
The building, the reason why it is there, Matthias, like the government intimated, our president intimated that we inherited a broken economy. It is the reason why our clinic is still standing. Onokone engaged Minister of Health on several occasions. Minister of Health, please come in and use this clinic so that our people can benefit. They said they do not have staff to deploy there because their budget is constrained. You getting this information? Their budget is constrained. If the people want to use that clinic, let the people themselves put people there, or let Onokone put people there. In our mind, if we do that, like the politics were preached by Michael Tebbesin and other guys that were using that place, as our personal property, were renting it to other people prior to the construction of the dual community road. That politics would have overshadowed our good intent. Right now, we are advocating with this government. We are lobbying with this government. President George Weah went to the clinic during the dedication of that dual community road, Agbagobe Street. He sat right on there. So we've been visiting. We are writing series of letters so that he can come in and see to it that clinic is renovated. Every equipment that required, you get your bill and clinic, a structure there. You say you put people there. You need medical equipment, and they are very expensive. So if Onokone just do it as a personal, a clinic, people will play politics out of it. So that is why you see the clinic is being delayed in terms of dedicating it. What he intends to do, he will buttress government effort through the proper agenda by buying equipment, like he just departed the country. Upon his return, I believe he's going to bring medical equipment to aid government, or in that direction, because the current government do not have money to buy equipment and equip that clinic.
Okay. Thank you so much, Mr.
That's the intent of the lawmaker.
Thank you, Mr. Gable. Mr. Morris Gable is the political officer in the office of Montserrat County District 14 Representative Abraham Vamoya Kone. I would like to read a few comments quickly before I open the lines. Vasco Hayes is saying, can you ask your guest to remove his... No, okay, you've already done that. Thank you, Vasco, for suggesting that the guest removes his cap. Matthias, Martin Wiyama Brown says, Matthias, it is so disgusting to hear your guest speaking like the representative is the law. Is he saying that anyone that criticizes the lawmaker sandwiched and taken away from their homes and beaten? What if the person in question wasn't related to the lawmaker? Don't you think he would have been killed? All right. Wiyama came back to say there are multiplicity of complaints that have been coming from people of the district. When last did the representative take up some of his time to speak to the people? Frankly, Representative Kone has been dormant in his representation. All right. Francis Mensah, please be a bit polite. Then we're going to read out your comments. But let's hear you now. Call us in the numbers. And Samson W. Weah says you lie. Stop lying. Let's hear you. 07777 221 are the numbers you can call us on to participate. Let's hear from the first person. Good morning. You have a minute. If you take long time to introduce yourself and call the thing, then you.
Good morning.
Good morning, sir.
Yeah, good morning, Matthias, and good morning to the students.
Good morning, sir.
My name is Chief Bishop, and I join on the Watusi Community Precise Community.
Go ahead.
Let me say thanks to the student girl for demystifying the myth circulating around our district as it relates to our homo developmental oriented lawmaker of our district. I think it is an act of being deceptive. If you look at the intent of the protest, why is it true that we condemn the situation that will occur at the Capitol building? Or if you look at the intent and those who are masterminding the issue of the protest as it relates to so be a movement against the re-election of the opponent, you have the leg of Myers, you have the leg of other people who are supporting and attracting the young people of our district.
Okay. Thank you so much. Let's hear from this other person here. Good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning, sir. Let's hear you.
Yes, morning. My name is Melvin D. Brown, and I'm calling you from a resident in Toh community this morning.
You have a minute, Mr. Brown. Go ahead.
Thank you very much, and let me say good morning to your studio guests. Firstly, I have realized why the office of this lawmaker is intellectually, politically very, very weak. To have someone who is representing vast majority of educated people in the Democratic 14 to be an intellectual and a political flunky, it deduces the reason why this lawmaker is failing. Now let me say this on this platform. I call basically because my name was mentioned. But that's flunky of a political officer.
Sorry, we cannot. You know, the thing about you guys is you think that in your impoliteness, people will just look at it and elevate it on their platforms. We run our platforms. You have your words to use. If you don't use them wisely, we use what we can use to get you off our platforms. Let's hear from this other person. Good morning.
Good morning, Matthias.
Good morning, sir. Let's hear you.
Good morning to the many listeners following the podcast.
Go ahead.
I'm Terry Somaninen, and I joined the conversation from my reading room on the Corner Avenue in the Open Living.
Go ahead, sir.
And Matthias, and I listened to your guest, and he spoke lengthily. But Matthias, it is saddening for our democracies for people to express disenchantment and being brutalized. And that is a sad news for our democracies. But equally, Matthias, it is not being proven by law, or it is not being investigated by law that those guys who brutalized our comrades, that we affected our comrades brutalized in the process. But on our corner, that it is sponsored, except an investigation be launched and a proving that on our corner, it is a broad sponsor of such act. Some of us will come up to condemn the honorable man's office. But it has not been proven. There's nothing been proven that you have been suspended. Of those, there are some allegations and speculation that Starbucks on our corner others were also part of that process. But it has not been proven that it has been supported by on our corner.
Thank you so much, sir. Let's move on to this other person. Good morning, Mr. Mohammed Koliwa. Go ahead.
Well, good morning, Matthias.
Good morning, sir.
Good morning to your studio guests.
Let's hear you.
Well, Matthias, you know, let me say this for the record. The issue of our corner re-election come 2023 is still a done. This is the fear tactics or the stationary tactics of the opposition. Because they want to distract the honorable mind of his developmental initiatives in the district. But what we can tell them is that all of the projects that we have initiated, like the town hall, the road going to Allen, the Abuja Bridge, the Fakoya Bridge, all of those bridges, all the development will be initiated before 2023. And on the current re-election, it's 100%. No one person in the district about concern on the corner remain the most developmental oriented lawmaker.
Thank you, Mohammed. Let's hear from this other person here.
Good morning, Matthias.
Good morning, sir. Let's hear you. Go ahead.
My name is Zach Phillips, and I call you from a private residence in Joe community.
Go ahead, Zach.
Firstly, let me condemn the act of violence that will be exhibited or was exhibited by any person in any form, a minor. Those guys who are engaged into brutalizing their colleagues are all residents. Besides, in this dispensation, our dispensation, as a young people, it is important we improve, we ameliorate ourselves from the issue of and engage the discourse with intellectual compatibility. So your serious guest, I listen to him, I listen to his extemporaneous analysis. What I have to tell him as a political officer, upon the return of the representative of Nation number 14, in President Abraham Bamiyan, it is important at times that when the king or the prince or princesses people are not fortunate to interact with him, it raises our brow. So
okay.
What is important?
Thank you, sir. I think, you guys are full of prolonged conversation. Oh, my God. Let's hear from this person. Good morning. Good morning.
Good morning, Matthias.
Go ahead.
Thank you. Let me appreciate you for this platform. My name is Aman Kosborn. They I joined the conversation from District number 15.
Go ahead, sir.
Let me begin by condemning the violence that was meted against citizens a few days ago at the Capitol building. We believe that it should not be a representation of the young people. The best thing to do as a young person, if you have grievances, channel it through a professional and well-organized. Having condemned that, it's also important to acknowledge that the rep in question is serving his third term. So if you are arguing that he has performed Desmond, what is it that you are giving him another responsibility? I mean, you have renewed a responsibility, now one, now two. I mean, this is the third term.
It's fourth term. It's second term, by the way. Second term, not fourth, but second term.
Okay, so therefore that.
Okay, Emma left. Let's hear from this other person. Good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning, sir. Let's hear you.
Okay, Matthias, thank you for getting this money.
Go ahead.
It's still your.
Who's this person on the line?
There is something calling from Central Freeport.
Go ahead, sir.
You know, Abokona have been dormant over the years. I mean, let the studio get admit the Abokona is not physically strong to run the district. I don't know when last he visited Central Freeport. You see, the point is, there are so many problems in the district. It would have been championed by young people. Is Mr. Corona aware that there are other people in the community that you should engage?
Okay, Kappa, thank you. Let's talk to the last person on the last person. All right. Okay, this is second to the last. Good morning. Go ahead. Briefly, sir.
Good morning. This is David Ago, the chairperson of the movement against the re-election representing
Mr. Wise, you have a minute, please.
And also the most bitter mass person from the flocking, the brutal flocking from Tuesday, from the PRO and the youth coordinator in the office of Representative Abraham Bamuya Kone. Quickly, this has been our argument that whenever allegations are levied against you as a lawmaker, be able to come on a public platform, if you have the willpower to rubbish the allegation instead of you going brutal, we want to say it is very much regrettable, and it is let the men go for the issue. The issue we have is that the 30K must be accounted for, the 20K must also be accounted for. District meeting must be held in the district, and report must be given every, budget year. They should give people giving to the people.
Okay.
And don't come and run us to our horses.
Thank you, sir. Lastly, good morning. Good morning.
Good morning, Matthias.
Go ahead.
I think this is Zach F. Bemo, and I joined from Capital of this morning.
Let's hear you, sir.
Let me commend you for the discussion. But I think the COS is not fair to the peaceful, in as much as we will condemn any act of violence by young people. It is also good in a civilized democracy that people exercise their disappointment through protest, a peaceful one for that matter. But the manner and form in which those guys who are disenchanted over the manner and form in which they are being represented were brutalized, I think it's unfortunate. I see that the COS is struggling to respond to some sort of protest, especially when you put out the video. And I think we should go back to organize itself properly to come and
Thank you. Thank you so much for your contribution on the program. We have 4 minutes to go now. We have to wrap up with our guest. We hope to have this conversation some other time. We hope to also have a conversation with the representative. Thanks so much, Mr. Gable, for honoring our invitation at short notice and coming here to what we do all the time is to ensure that we provide maximum respect for our guests. As long as you're in our studio, we provide you that protection and respect until you leave our studio, even up to the time you leave the studio. So thank you so much, Mr. Gable. You would like to respond to some of the concerns raised? Go ahead.
Yes. Let me say hazard to many of the callers, but I would like to respond to 2 of your callers, Marvin Brown and David Galawi. Let me say, with what the information that I provided on Marvin Brown, I think he just justified by his presentation. This brother, he is not a patriotic element for District 14, and I'm maintaining that we cannot be initiating development initiative and then you are against it. Mary Brown is on record, on video, that he brought us to disrupt district meetings. That's a fact. And Galawi said he talked about making district report. I've been making reference to series of district meetings. 2019, we made a comprehensive report. It is just that we are in a kind of a situation that we met 2 of our youth, being killed by one another, and we are preparing to come up with a comprehensive report. And not because you guys are advocating for a report, we work in turn. Okay. This is the second setting. Okay. So at the end of the setting, we will provide you reports. Why should we rushing with report? Why you can't
the money
developmental initiative
and the $30,000?
Let me say this. All the $30,000 that were given by this government for legislative engagement and project, if you catalog what on the corner is spending, that report, it will be in our upcoming report. Why he's spending the multi-complex town hall, government did not pay a single dime. Government is constrained in terms of budgetary allocation. Okay, we are engaged government to provide a lot of developmental initiative. We need a modern kind of drainage like the Sony Wayne. What Doe constructed? If you go to Doe community, especially Clarta and Doe community, if you look between the very houses, we feel very pity for our people. They are not advocating for this thing, but they are beyond on Okone to get them $30K. You think we're going to intellectualize our district and forget about the development? We will not bow down to that. Intellectual, we will engage them, but development must go on.
Okay.
Thank you. That's the information I want to provide for our people.
Thank you.
At the current setting, we'll provide them report. They shouldn't be rushing.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Mr. Gable, and thanks to all of you, district residents who participated, and those of you also from distant areas that took part in the conversation. I want to appreciate you. The time is 9 o'clock. We have to go quickly to leave you. We want to say, don't distrust someone who has helped you before because of differences. If they are no longer beneficial to you, respect the days they have helped you and supported you. My name is Matthias Labindi.
Washington's willingness to commit to their defence, are countries like China and Russia weighing up their options in disputed regions. Traditionally, America's championed the idea of nurturing democracy around the world,